There is an upcoming DLC coming out this year for an existing Star Wars game that will fundamentally change how you will play it. That update being called Legacy of the Sith, which is coming out for the Old Republic sometime in holiday 2021. This will be celebrating its 10-year anniversary, considering the last expansion pack for the game came out 2 years ago with Onslaught in 2019. But BioWare had been hard at work on numerous chapters for that expansion since its release, with the Dark Descent being the final plot piece for the Onslaught's campaign being completed roughly a few months ago. So what exactly happens in Legacy of the Sith? And more importantly, how does it change the way we are going to be playing the Old Republic? Well, in terms of storyline, the legendary Sith Darth Malgus makes his return, as well as another update called Combat Styles that allow you to change what weapons your characters use and mix and match them with combat styles that may vary depending on what character you're playing. We'll be diving into this and so much more in today's video. We have a lot of people on our EcksToo Discord that enjoy this game as well. So if you enjoy talking to like-minded Star Wars fans, why not join our Discord? I'll leave an invite code in the pinned comment down below. But with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. So, Legacy of the Sith was announced roughly in July of this year, and according to developers, they're on target to release in probably December 2021. The full lowdown for storyline is that Darth Malgus makes his return and will be once again placed in the antagonist position. So when we look at the Legacy of the Sith story summary, it states that players will be participating in a military campaign for their respective allegiances, as both factions will begin to uncover Darth Malgus' hidden plot. This isn't the first time Malgus has appeared in the Old Republic. He has been in many the Old Republic trailers as well, some of them being Return, Hope and Deceived. And here's the one that gives you missions when you're in the Imperial faction. Without spoilers, players could defeat Malgus in a specific mission, but then he was later on revived in the Onslaught expansion as the Empress's Wrath. And this all kind of bleeds together to the Legacy of the Sith, where you're discovering Darth Malgus' plans as well as having a major battle on the ocean world of Manon, where the Sith Empire has invaded the planet. But let's move on to the other big update that's coming in this expansion pack, the combat styles and how it affects gameplay. Well, developers on the Old Republic did a pretty chunky blog update talking about the changes that are going to happen. For those who are not familiar with the Old Republic, you have 8 different classes to choose from, 4 on the Republic side and 4 on the Empire side. And the 4 classes between both factions are then split in half again, with 2 of them being blaster wielding origin stories, with the other 2 being force-based origin stories. So for the Republic, you have your Jedi Knight and Jedi Consular, and then you also have your Trooper and Smuggler. For the Empire, you have your Sith Warrior and Sith Inquisitor, and then you also have Bounty Hunter and Imperial Agent. However, these classes have limitations, because they were tied to the styles of combat that the developers thought matched them best. So for example, Bounty Hunters can fight with 2 blaster pistols like Jango Fett, whilst Troopers use blaster rifles like in the Clone Wars. But what if you're a smuggler and you don't really want to run pistols? What if you want to run, say, assault rifles like the Imperial Agents have? Or better yet, a blaster rifle? Well, that's what combat styles do, and it's not just for vanity reasons. Combat styles have different subclasses that come with them. So you can decide to be a smuggler that wants to run blaster rifles, but also runs the sniper combat style. Hopefully this gives you a bit of an idea of how powerful combat styles are, where before you'd make a character and decide its origin story, and then once you leveled up a bit, then you could choose your advanced class and pretty much stick with it throughout the game. With combat styles, you can change it whenever you like, whenever you feel like it, and it'll change the characters and how they move and animate depending on your choices. Whilst this does sound fantastic, there is of course limitations. You can't be a smuggler running around with a lightsaber. It would look really wacky and a bit off canon. But for me personally, I think these changes are fantastic for force-based classes. How many people that have picked up this game really wanted to run a double lightsaber, but didn't want to play Jedi Consular, they wanted to play Jedi Knight? Well, with combat styles, you can do that now. But everything I just described was in layman terms. For people who are familiar with the Old Republic, let's get into a bit more detail. According to the developer's blog posts, there's quite a few different ways to choose your combat styles. For one, if you're creating a new character, you will first choose your origin story like usual, and then immediately choose your combat style. This offers you the choice up front so you can start your journey with the story and playstyle combination that works with your type of character that you want to play. Secondly, if you decide to create a boosted character, you will choose your origin story, then combat style in a similar way to the new character creation. And finally, with people out there that have existing characters, when you log into the game, you'll be able to choose your combat styles immediately. You can choose to have your combat style similar, if not identical, to your previous old school advanced class, or perhaps try something new. So that's how you can choose your combat styles, but what is exactly available? Well, if your character's a trooper, bounty hunter, smuggler, or agent, they'll only have access to the tech combat styles, those being Vanguard, Commando, Power Tech, Mercenary, Scoundrel, Gunslinger, Operative, and Sniper. However, if your character has a Force-based origin story, so you're playing Jedi Knight, Jedi Consular, Sith Warrior, or Sith Inquisitor, they will initially only have access to other Force-based combat styles that match their faction's overall alignment. So for the Republic faction, you can only choose between Guardian, Sentinel, Sage, or Shadow combat styles. And for Empire, you'll be able to choose between Juggernaut, Marauder, Sorcerer, or Assassin combat styles. But if you decide that your character's choices will lead them away from their original faction alignment, they will eventually be able to unlock the option to pick the other faction's combat styles in addition to their own. Besides all that information, that is pretty much combat styles in a nutshell. Personally, I think this is a pretty big and healthy change to the game, but others might criticize this being a bit too complex and overloaded, especially when new players want to come into the game. Personally, I'm more interested in asking you guys that question. For people that are currently playing the Old Republic, do you agree with these changes or do you not? Whether you like these changes or not, I think this is the perfect time to get into the Old Republic. This is going to be one of the bigger expansion packs, and I don't know if we'll see another expansion pack after Legacy of the Sith. It's quite a bold statement, I know, but it's remarkable that a game like Star Wars The Old Republic can last 10 years in the RPG MMO market that has been dominated by long-time competitors like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy. But who knows, with the crumbling of World of Warcraft and the uprising of Final Fantasy, maybe there'll be a spot in people's hearts for a new MMORPG that might just be Star Wars The Old Republic. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm more interested in your thoughts on these combat style changes. For people who play the game frequently, do you like these changes? For people who have just started, do these sound good to you or not? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I read all of them and I'll get back to some of you as well. But besides that guys, I have been Charlie, you've been watching EcksToo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care guys.